I have a guest this morning who tries to answer that question for presidential candidates. He co-founded a group dedicated to giving policy guidance to Republican contenders. In fact, they've even offered it to Democrats if they'll take it. He would like to advise one more candidate, Donald Trump, if Trump would take the advice. The group is called the Hay Initiative, named after a man who was a private secretary to Abraham Lincoln, later Secretary of State. Its co-founder is Brian Hook, who served in the second Bush administration, also advised Mitt Romney, 2012 presidential candidate. He's in our studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve.
How many candidates have you advised in this election?
Well, the field started with around 17. We've advised well over half, probably around 10 of the candidates.
10 of the candidates. And you feel that some of them have taken your advice?
Well, we've wanted to be a resource to the field, and I think we've been successful, at doing that. I think within the field, I think there's been more that people agree on within the Republican Party than they disagree on. And so we've worked with a range of folks, some of whom are in the race, and many of whom are not in the race.
Ted Cruz, you've given advice
Yep.
to.
Mm-hmm.
John Kasich, you've given advice to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Donald Trump, you haven't given advice to.
No.
At least not yet. Now, foreign policy is not math. You don't have an objective answer that you can give to a question. You bring a point of view. What is it, essentially?
Foreign policy?
Yeah.
Well, we believe that, starting around the time of World War II, emerges what has become a bipartisan tradition of American leadership in world affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And that tradition has served not only the United States, but the world in a number of ways. The benefits of this sort of global leadership, the guarantor of the international system, has produced a lot of benefits. And we try to educate candidates on a range of issues, whether it's on foreign policy.
Okay, I hope I don't get a copyright problem. That was KNPR, and they were talking about the election. Let's see if God wants to talk about the election. So, are you voting for Mr. Trump, Mr. God? I'm probably voting for Trump. If I vote, I probably won't vote. Just so before we do that, there's a YouTube story saying, how did they out rebound? How did Yale out rebound Baylor? And the story was funny. Anyway, if you think about what I do, I go to a website and then God responds. It sort of reminds me of a rebound if you're talking abstractly. I don't know. That's the realm we deal with. So let's talk about the election. So I need to. They were talking about out rebounding. If I'm not adding any value, then a stupid person can. I guess that's not the right analogy. Anyway, if I'm not adding any value, then it's just a rebound or something like that. People in Italy, Austria, Prussia. Okay, that looks like a dud. I'm a quarter French, 3/4 Irish. So sometimes if it's talking about Napoleon, then they might be talking about me. What do I mean? we have to explain the rules of this game. Mostly it deals in abstractions and analogies or something. So you interpret the story within the context of the topic of conversation. Well, what we do is ruminate. Okay, I wonder if I got a lobotomy or something. I need to they give me pills. So far, I have not added any value. So let's do a Moses comic. Moses says, I don't know. This is too difficult to do. God doesn't like sports, by the way. Okay, I'm trying to do a Moses comic. He liked basketball. Now, if you're wondering why I call these Moses comics, they started like this. It's hot here. What is that? Okay, those are Moses comics. Now I just print the words. You like basketball? I could say something racist. I can't concentrate. I'm on the air. So that's supposed to be, I broke my glasses. That's supposed to be transcendental. Okay, so like, what if God's glasses were the size of basketball hoops? God doesn't wear glasses. I wear glasses, matter of fact. Sort of, when I drive. Anyway, actually, now I'm getting nearsighted and farsighted. Anyway, oh, did we do this? Okay. Oops. For now I'm uploading. Why do I do this so fast? I don't know. I like to get the results out to the public immediately, to show that I did not cheat. But now the public is watching a webcast. So normally I do the same thing, but without webcasting. So let's see what the joke. You get equal value to what you offer. So I should get a little bit of value. That in life he had been of comely features and gallant bearing. Around him on the bier itself were laid some books, several papers open and folded, and those who were looking on as well as those who were opening the grave. In all, the others who were there preserved a strange silence, until one of those who had borne the body said to another, "Observe carefully, Ambrosia, if this is the place Chrysostom spoke of, since you are anxious that he directed in his will should be so strictly that wasn't much of a... Okay, we got ripped off. You try to do a Moses comic. It's not so easy. You try to do a Moses comic. Not so easy. You try to do a Moses comic. Not so easy. Oh, I don't have to. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think of Trump, Mr. God? By the way, if you do view, then you can type anything you like until you hit escape. So, for example, I can. Well, anyway, it's. Impalas are tanks, kind of. My little brother's name is Sean. I don't think he has herpes. God appears to be saying something. Oh, you know what? It reminds me of shooting free throws. To do something under pressure. Anyway, so I'm disappointed. Who's that? Okay, I'm just looking for something interesting. Mental illness. There used to be a Pink Floyd song which said, what did it say? 60 channels of shit on the TV to choose from. I think it's 500 channels. Iron Fist. How about this, Mr. God? Okay, it looks like about 640 by 640. No, a little bit more. 640 by 700. Now, if you want, oh, I know what I can do. Okay. We're getting the random number. What am I doing? Oh. Okay, so it's 9:60. The time is correct. And I like to upload it. I always upload before I read it, just out of courtesy, except that doesn't make sense right now. I can put the radio on KNPR. I hope they don't. I hope they don't file a copyright if I put KNPR. Okay, then only from these two apartments that we have to seek issues. The police have laid bare the floors, the ceiling, the masonry of the walls in every direction. No secret issues could have escaped their vigilance, but not trusting to their eyes, I examined with my own. There were then no secret issues. Both doors leading from the rooms into the passage were securely locked with the keys inside. Let us turn to the chimneys. These, although of ordinary width, for some 8 or 10 feet above the... Maybe it's a chimney. Eyes? God's trying to say it's eyes. Maybe. Okay. We're kind of striking out. What if God has enough people? Okay, let's go to KNPR.
Tap the screen to support what you'll be listening to next. Wherever you browse on our site, the audio continues uninterrupted.
I live in Las Vegas. Hold on. It doesn't start up every time.
What makes a Subaru committed to treating every cancer patient as unique and believing that every patient's story of courage and inspiration should be heard. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
This is NPR News.
Support for Nevada Public Radio comes from the Henderson Libraries Around the World in 30 Days International Festival, with Siberia's Crystal Trio, classical and modern works on glass instruments. Wednesday, March 23rd at Gibson and Paseo Verde Libraries. Details at hendersonlibraries.com. And from Nevada State Bank, offering full-service branches in Nevada, providing personal, professional, and entrepreneurial services to Nevadans for over 50 years. Information at nsbank.com.
A new debut novel called The Nest looks at adult siblings who can't wait for their inheritance. For the 55-year-old author, the idea of writing a book was not inevitable.
I mean, I did imagine it, but that was like the way I imagined winning an Academy Award.
Talking with a first-time novelist later on All Things Considered from NPR News.
Join us for All Things Considered from 3:30 to 6:30 this afternoon on News 88.9 KNPR. It's 5:31. I'm Nicole Robinson-Carroll. Democratic former Nevada Assembly Speaker John Oseguera said he's decided to end his campaign for Congress. Oseguera released a statement Wednesday saying he wasn't able to raise enough money for the race. He said he was grateful for his supporters and would do what he could to help him.
Okay. So, my parents are getting old. That was about an adult sibling wanting inheritance money. This mentioned Sean. Well, somewhere. Anyway, my brother. So what do you think of inheritance, Mr. God? God likes giving birthrights. I can't think under pressure. I'll try another Moses comic. I was going to do a joke about inheritance. Doesn't the firstborn get all the inheritance? I don't remember how it works in Moses' time. God says, I can't think. Normally, I can come up with something funny. Maybe it's a meds. It's early in the morning. Okay, so Moses was adopted by Pharaoh or something. I don't know. There's a joke to be made. There is a joke to be made, but I don't know. Sometimes I Okay, let's read it before we post it. As good luck would have it, comes in one mistress page, gives intelligence of Ford's approach, and they have her invention and Ford's wife's distraction. They conveyed me into a buck basket, by the Lord, a buck basket. Rammed me in with foul skirts and socks. Okay, so God took pity on me. Pharaoh, Moses was set afloat. Moses was set afloat in a basket. A buck basket. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's dirty clothes. Was that Shakespeare? Shakespeare. Okay. There, I did a decent miracle. Do you think God is just waking up? He was giving bad response.